Hi boys and girls, welcome to Everyday Math Lesson 1.7. The materials that you'll need today, notebook paper, your pencil, math journal, and then you'll also need Math Master page 11. If you don't have Math Master page 11, that's okay, just follow along with us. All right, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is go over our math boxes, which is Math Journal page 7. And this is the page that we completed in the previous lesson. If you notice that you have any mistakes, please fix those with your pencil and eraser. So looking at question number 1, we needed to fill in the missing numbers. So we had 36, then we should have had 37, then they gave us 38, and then lastly we should have had 39. Then we needed to find that number that comes right before 12, which was 11. Then they have 12, 13, and then we should have put 14. For letter C, there was 89, then we would have put 90, 91, and 92. And then for letter D, they gave us 147, so we know 146 comes right before. Then after 147 would be 148, 149, and then we should have written down 150. For question number 2, circle the digit in the tens place. You should have circled the 3 in the number 437. Circle the ones digit. You should have circled the 8 in the number 18. And then circle the hundreds digit. You should have circled the 2 in the number 206. I want to just double check and make sure. Yes, that was a 3 for the first one for the tens digit. All right, for problem number 3, how likely is it that our class will go on a field trip today? And you probably would have said unlikely, unless you are in a different class that is going on a field trip today. But if you're in our class, it is unlikely. For question number 4, now your date might be very different, but today's date, or for yesterday's date, our month is 9 for September, our day is the 10th, and the year is 2020. So again, you might have a different day than what I have. Now, 1 week from December 10th would be December 17th. And I would write that 9-17-20. So again, you might need to ask with or check with your classroom teacher to see if your date is the one that I have on here. For question number 5, fill in the circle next to the name of the shape. This is a pentagon, letter C. And for number 6, write 2 even and 2 odd numbers. There's lots of possible answers. The 2 numbers that I chose for even, I chose 8 and 4. My 2 odd numbers, I chose 3 and 7. All right, boys and girls, we'll put our math journal to the side and we'll take out our whiteboard and marker or a notebook, paper, and pencil. If the speed is too fast, please pause as often as needed. I want you to write down the next 3 numbers on your whiteboard. And we're doing a little skip counting. So we started at 12, then we went to 14, 16. Can you write down the next 3 numbers? Press pause and then play when you're ready to hear the answer. So you should have figured out that we're counting by 2s. So after 16, I would have 18, and then I would have 20, and then lastly I would have 22. Let's try another one like this. This time we have 36, 38, 40. Can you write down the next 3 numbers? Press pause and then play when you're ready to hear the answer. Again, we are skip counting by 2. So after 40, you should have had 42, 44, and 46. We'll try one more. This time we have the number 234, 236, 238. Can you write down the next 3 numbers? Press pause and then play when you're ready to hear the answer. All right, second graders, so I kind of ignore that 2 right away and I just think, well, what's 2 more than 38? I know that 2 more than 38 is 40, and then I plug in that 2 in front of that. So I should have 240, 242, and then lastly 244. All right, we are going to review a little bit about time. And this, you don't have this page. This is just a page that I want you to follow along. And you can either write down the time or you could also say it out loud. So boys and girls, what time is it on this first clock? And if you look below, these are like multiple choice. So they're saying, is it 2 o'clock? Is it 3 o'clock? Or is it 3:30? And if you said that it's 3 o'clock, that is correct. What time is it here? Is it 6 o'clock, 9:30, or 6:30? If you said that it's 6:30, you are correct. And if I'm going too fast, you can press pause and then play when you're ready to hear the answer. What time is it here? You can look, is it 2:30, 3:30, or 1:30? Now, boys and girls, I can see my hour hand is in between the 1 and the 2, so I know it's still 1. And then if that minute hand is on the 6, that's going to tell me that my time is 1:30. Let's try some more. What time is it here? Is it 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 10:30? If you said 10 o'clock, you are correct. What time is it here? Is it 9:30, 8:30, or 9 o'clock? Now looking at my hour hand, it's in between the 9 and the 10, so it's still 9, but it's not exactly 9 o'clock since my minute hand is on the 6. So you should have said 9:30. What time is it here? Is it 11:30, 11 o'clock, or 10 o'clock? And since my hour hand is right on the 11 and my minute hand is on the 12, I know that it's 11 o'clock. We have 3 more. What time is it here? Is it 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or 12:30? Notice how my hour hand is in between the 12 and the 1. And my minute hand is on the 6, so it is 12:30. What time is it here? Is it 4:30, 5 o'clock, or 4 o'clock? You should have said 4 o'clock. And our last one, what time is it here? 12:30, 12 o'clock, or 2:30? And you should have said 12:30. We'll continue to work more on clocks in future lessons. The next thing we're going to do is take a look at that Math Master page 11. If you don't have the Math Master page, then I want you to follow along with me. You can kind of point to the different boxes on my page. But otherwise, if you can follow the directions on your Math Master page, that would be great. All right, boys and girls, so we're going to start at 0, and we're going to count by 3s on the number grid up to the number 50. And I want you to color each number you land on yellow. So can you press pause and do that and then play when you're ready to see the answer? All right, so I'll count with you. So I started at 0 and then I just did a little yellow circle, but you could have colored the whole thing yellow. That would be great too. So I have my 3, 6, 9, and then I hop down to the next line, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48. I stopped at 48 because the next number I would get to would be 51, and they told me to only go up to 50. So that's why I stopped at 48. Boys and girls, the next thing, could you put your finger on 12? Will you write an X on the number that is 10 more than 12? So my number that's 10 more than 12, you should have had 22. Now, can you put your finger on 20? And will you count back 5 and circle the number you land on? So again, put your finger on 20, count backwards 5, circle the number you land on. You should have landed on the number 15. Could you put your finger on 37 and count back 8 and color the number you land on blue. I put my finger on 37. I counted back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the number I landed on was 29, which I marked with blue. For our last one, could you put your finger on 74 and count back 40 and color the number you land on red? I put my finger on 74. I count back 10, 20, 30, 40. The number that I landed on was 34, which I marked red. If you want more practice with this, you could pause and rewind the video a little bit and try again. All right, boys and girls, we will now talk about our math journal, page 8, looking at our math boxes. So if you can put your Math Master page to the side and look at page 8. So I'm going to talk about this page first, and then I'm going to ask that you complete the page on your own. Once you're all done, I'll have you take a picture and add your picture to Seesaw for your classroom teacher, and we will go over this page in our next video. So looking at problem number 1, how much money do you have if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 dimes? If you could write down that amount. For question number 2, you're filling in the missing numbers. So think about what number would come in between 13 and 15, and then what numbers would come after 15. Show me 16 with tally marks. Write down the time. For question number 5, so if we have 9 plus how much more to get us to 11? And then let's look at number 6. Fill in the missing frame. So our rule is plus 5. So for this first one, we actually need to subtract 5. We need to do the opposite because we need to figure out what's going to be that first number. So can you think about what's 15 minus 5? And will you write that number in? Then from 15, you could think 15 plus 5. You would put that in this circle. Then you would add 5 more, and you would put it in this bottom circle. And if I were to add 5 more, I would get to my 30. Okay? If you have any questions, you can ask your classroom teacher. Otherwise, again, we will go over this page in our next video. All right, have a great day.